Hey everyone, it's Michael with One Mic Out, and I'm at you with another one. Big one today, I think. We'll see. If I don't get banned or another strike from YouTube or get my pee smacked or whatever from them again, and we'll see. Because apparently I got to preface these things with these are my opinion. These are not anything I put out medically, should not be taken as advice. And this is just my opinion, but should not be followed as advice or because I am not a medical expert. So that out of the way, don't listen to my medical advice. There you go. All right. Is that good, YouTube? Are we good? We're good. I hope so. Anyway, I'm not really going to be talking about any of that kind of stuff today. Anyway, a few things kind of jump around a little bit today. So I've had well, which one to start with actually, because they're both pretty big. So yesterday I was thinking, and the dangerous thing that happens to me from time to time. But yesterday I was thinking, and talking about, thinking about like how everyone on the left is so big on the whole free stuff. The word free, the trigger word free, that's what gets everyone. And that's what politicians do. They promise you free things because it's a trigger word and you're going to clamor to that. Just like any business saying, 25% off of a marked up product that's 25% marked up. Or you get this 2-for-1 free thing where the product itself just alone costs less than the price that they're asking. So, there are two products, I should say, cost less than that one price that they're asking. So they're easy. They're easy manipulators out there to get you to, spend your good earned dollar. But one thing that I was thinking about was, the word free with it being thrown out. And the big thing in the last election that we had was like student debt. Like student debt, you elect me and I'll cancel student debt. And the big nasty gram thing is, when Republicans come out and say, no, that's bad. And the liberals, and I'm talking about the believers. I'm talking about the voters, not the politicians, because the politicians are all on the same team, in my opinion, because no one's doing anything. The right's like, oh, how dare the left? And the left's like, look at us and look what we're getting away with. And, how dare the right and things like that. They're all on the same team. They're all getting paid. They all have their medical. They all made it. They've satisfied certain lobbyists. They've satisfied certain companies to where they're getting paid money and they got they're set for life. All right. So they, truly do they care? No. They cared when they were down with the believers and the voters and the little people, if you will. But where they're at, regardless of which side of the aisle they're on, they've made it. All right. So your best interest is not their best interest. Their only best interest is their self-interest. But so going back to it, the voter, I'm talking about when I refer to liberal and when I refer to conservative, I'm talking about the believer, the voter, you and me, the non-politician. And so when you have keywords thrown out by a certain political group saying this is going to be free, you're not going to have to pay any of that debt back. That's obviously that gravitates to you because you're like, wow, I don't have to spend my good earned dollar on that crazy high interest rate loan that I took out to seek higher education. Of course, anybody, if it were legitimately free, if it was 100%, no kidding, no strings attached, no questions asked, like just it's yours. You're not going to have to pay anything on top of that. No higher taxes, no on the back end, you're going to owe us something, nothing. If it was just like, here you go, free education, that legitimately would be, something that we would look at and go, that I want that. But yes. Who in the right mind would say no? Who in the right mind would go, I don't want that. No, that's stupid. When conservatives say, hey, you can hear my dog running in right now. When conservatives sit there and go, no, that's a bad idea. It's because what they're referring to, and I'm talking about the believer and the voter again, they're referring to, they know what's going to happen. They know the trickle effect, the domino effect that's going to have. You say free stuff, and they see higher taxes. They see that money is going to have to come from somewhere to pay for that. It just isn't just spontaneously expunged. It's not just dissolved. It's something, you have to take from here to give to there. And so that's what they're referring to. But the left, what happens, and this is where it's so crucial that we critically think, people are so easily manipulated and indoctrinated. And I'm going to say that a lot. I've said that a lot in all of these, that when it comes to like the trigger word free, they're free. Where's shiny toy free? They don't focus on the greater picture, which is, okay, you asked for it, you voted it in, you wanted your free stuff, but we're sorry that your cost of living, you're sorry that your gallon of gas has gone up triple, or your gallon of milk has gone up, your everyday small bare essential items have gone up in price. Oh, sorry. Your federal income tax that you have to pay off of on your pay stub. Sorry that went up, but you wanted free. So we have to, as a people, as an American people, have to do away with the idea of, we're so caught up in like automatic deposit, right? Deposit. And we're so caught up in like, if we don't see the money come in, really, and we don't see it kind of come out, then it never really kind of existed. So therefore I didn't pay anything. And so when you get your net amount that you brought in at the end of your paycheck, a lot of times we're just scope locked and we're fixated on that number. We'll look in like, oh man, taxes are crazy. But how many of us are truly like looking at that going, wait a minute, my taxes, wait a minute, that went up $20, or that went up $15, or that went up $100. Wait a minute. A lot of us are so fixated on just on how much we're bringing in that we forget to look at that stuff. And what ends up happening is, in our mind, when they say free, it's automatically paid for because, they're taking it out of our hard-earned money and out of our paycheck. And so, by not seeing it, it never really existed. Therefore, when my big high-interest loan just goes away, I never truly paid for it. Well, yes, you did, but along with everybody else, we all shared in your burden, in your inability to pay that back. So nothing is ever truly free. Talk about universal health care. That's great. We all want that, man. That would, what great utopia would we live in if everything legitimately were free? You call that the law of consecration, where like what I provide, if I'm a farmer, well, I'm going to make sure that the town is fed as long as everyone in the town is doing their part. The doctors doing the doctor work, the people who are upkeeping the engineers and everyone are upkeeping the infrastructure. I'm keeping up the agriculture. All of that is, we're all doing our part, if you will. You know what I mean? But we don't live in that kind of a society because we don't live in a perfect frickin' world. We live in a world that is cruel. It's unfair. It's unforgiving. And it's never going to change. That won't change. We can dream about it all day long. That's why we call it a dream. But it's never going to truly change. And I'm not even going to say until we do X, Y, or Z, because it's just not. That's just something that isn't going to happen. We live in a world that is cruel, to where we have to do the best we can to work together to get by. That's why America, being the experiment that it is, being the first nation on the planet to ever have a government made up of the people, has succeeded for so long, up until what we're seeing right now with the authoritarian and the tyrannical government and all that kind of stuff that we're seeing happen with mandates and all that kind of stuff. But that's a different subject. Nothing is free, and nothing ever will be free. Unfortunately, it just won't. You can equate it to this. If you play the lottery, it's like you go and you buy a $30 lottery ticket and you win $10. No, you didn't. You lost 20. You didn't win 10, you lost 20. So you're still in the negative. But what happens is your dopamine and serotonin starts hitting. It starts firing. Oh, I won money. And so there's certain people, and there's a lot of those people out there, unfortunately, in this country, that look at that as a win. No, you lost $20. And that's how that free system is. Yeah, you might look at it and go, ooh, it's free. But you ultimately paid for it. So did everyone else. And then at the trickle effect that has, around the entire nation is inflation. You see your minimum wage goes up, but now everything else goes up, and everyone's wondering why. Why did all cost of living go up when minimum wage went up? Well, because those companies now have to raise. I get it. Like, there's companies out there that could pay more, but unfortunately, we don't live like those. Capitalism, they're free to go. Nah, we don't think this skill set deserves this amount of pay. If you want more money, then yes, you're going to have to go seek out certifications, higher education, do something to make yourself more valuable to society. But what does that take? Hard work. And not a lot of people want to invest that hard work, that extra dollar, because they just want now. We're being conditioned to be just handed out stuff. And then when all of a sudden something's not handed out to us, it's, what the hell? That's when we bitch and moan. Nothing is ever free. Something's always taken from here, from X, to give to Z. You know, it's never just poof, it's free. And so when you have liberals who are mad at the right for hating on free universal health care, because it's not free, it's never is going to be free, they're the conservatives are the ones going, no, we just know that this is going to cause taxes or something to go up more, and it's going to ultimately be more money out of our pockets going back to the government. Do you think about it? The government taxes us on everything. I mean, you have, you buy a car, you have to continue to pay, you might pay the one-time sales tax on it, but every time you have to pay a tax every year on it. Registration, that's a tax. You have to pay that in order to use that vehicle the way in which you purchase it, intended to use it. You have to pay to play. You have to pay on roads that your tax dollar built. It doesn't make sense. A house, property. Yeah, every year, you have to pay property tax. But it's land that you own. Not really. Government can take it away if you don't pay your taxes. So do you really ever own it? So they're making out there. They're making out with, sales tax, income tax. Now they're wanting to do a mileage tax, to where now they want a big government micromanage. They want to look at you and they want to look at your odometer. They want to look at how many miles you drive every year. And then they're going to charge you a tax on that. It's craziness. It's craziness, people. It's craziness if you're legitimately for that. But the problem is people are so scope locked on the party in which they think it is for them. You have diehard blue bleeding liberal leftists who, no matter what I say, no matter what and how much sense anyone else makes that might be contrary to their opinion, but it makes logical sense, they're still just going to clamor to their side. They're going to hold to it, and they'll be like, nope, that means you've been indoctrinated. I mean, if you can't break away from that, if you can't break away from that teat, if you will, then there's almost no hope for you. And that's why the government looks at, they're looking down at lower education, schools and things like that, high schools and all that. They're trying to indoctrinate people. That's why Nancy Pelosi is putting out, throwing out 16 years. They can drive a car, they can vote. Really? Think about what you're doing when you're 16. It's insane, but it's because of the indoctrination. This is something they teach in SEER, where it's easy once you get a whole group of people indoctrinated. It's a cancer, and it grows and grows and grows and grows, and then all of a sudden that idea of freedom that this country was founded upon and the experiment that is the United States of America is lost. Look at what's happening in Australia with everything. I won't bring up why, but look what's happening in Australia. And that's because they allowed the block to be chipped at so much that now they can't fight back. And again, the government, when has the government ever restored anything that they've taken away? Like, name one. Like prohibition. I'll give you prohibition. I'll give that. Why? Well, alcohol. But name one thing that when they took it away, they willingly gave it back. Oh, we'll return to normal. Now, the more they can take away with, and then the more that you let them, and then the more that you adjust your comfort zone. You're like, oh, they took it. Well, okay, but I'm still comfortable. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Your comfort zone may have been here, but they'd keep chipping away until what? Until you live in a handout society. Until every move that you make is dictated by the government. Every withdrawal you make, every deposit you make, anytime you leave your house to go anywhere, it's going to cost more money to go to work soon than it is, to just stay at home. And that's ultimately, you make a dependent society. The low people, the elites are getting away with it, murder, and they've gotten away with it for years, and they're always going to get away with it until something happens. And so, taxing the rich isn't going to do anything to help the poor. The middle class is going away. It's dissolving. And they're wanting to make that what was left of the middle class and lower dependent off the government because they have better control over you, and greater control over you. And it's just insane. And this brings me all to my next point. I've had friends reach out, but I was thinking about this the other day too, and it just coincidentally had some friends reach out and talk about it. They asked me if I was religious, and my answer to that is, religious is you have all the different. You have certain people who be like, well, religion is going to church. I'm spiritual, and I believe in just whatever. Religion to you can be whatever the hell you want it to be. Spiritualism to you can be whatever the hell you want it to be. Am I religious? Am I spiritual? Sure. Am I in the same sense as you? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Do I believe that there's something greater than ourselves? Sure. Whether, I'm not going to go into what I think governs that, what it is. But do I believe that there's life beyond Earth and all that kind of stuff? Yes, I do. We're not, in my opinion, we're not if it happens here, it can easily, and it's happening, in an infinite universe, it's happening in all over the place, in my opinion. But I believe when you have those who believe in, no kidding, a gnat's ass religion, like like Catholicism or Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, and then you break it down to smaller groups, where you have in the Christian, in the Christian world, you have all a million different religions within just the Christian belief system. Excuse me. You have those people, and what I think religion does provide, at least in this era, in the New Age, and I'm talking, when I say New Age, I'm talking post medieval times. I believe that now with the era of enlightenment, people can use the books like the Bible and like the Quran and the Torah as moral compasses, if you will. I'm sorry, I was losing my train of thought. It's the PTSD. Just kidding. But I think that those are good things that people can use those tools for, in a way. I know people who use comic books as their moral compass. If you can use a damn comic book or a movie that you watched that was fictional, you can damn sure use something like the Bible and whatnot. And if it helps you get through life on a daily basis and that's your moral compass, that's fine. You'll have people on the left who are atheists who'll be like, well, in the Bible, God used to smite everybody that didn't agree with him. Okay, great. That's cool. Awesome. Those are hard times back in the day. You weren't there. You don't know what it was like. Look how it is right now, So whatever, but use it to the best of, use it to where it'll help you the best and edify you the best and make you a better person, the best. That's my thought on that. If anything in this world you can utilize as a moral compass, then by all means, clear it hot, use it. Don't go, well, I shouldn't really, use this comic book as a moral compass. Superman, big Superman fan. Yeah, he was a good guy in the comic books. Truth, Justice, the American Way, and had a moral. He was. But he was fictitious, so I'm not going to base my moral compass off his. Why? Why not? If it's going to help you live a better life, use whatever you can as the example to follow to make you a better person and forge your own path. People do it with religion, and so, and I'm not here to say if religion is, if God and Christ and all that kind of stuff are real, or if Allah, if Allah is real and Islam, or Judaism is all that kind of stuff. Whatever makes you live a better life, and whatever makes you not a shitbag. So if you literally, like, if you look in the Christian, in the New Testament, love God and love thy neighbor, right? As you do God, you follow those two things. It's literally a cover-all 2 commandments. It covers everything. It covers the 10 commandments that in the Christian religion that was thrown out. Because if you love your neighbor, you're not going to want to kill him. You're not going to rob from him. You're not going to cheat, lust after his spouse, his or her spouse, all that kind of stuff. And, if you love them like you do God, then there's nothing to worry about. Everyone just lives in that utopia that I was talking about earlier, but that's not a thing because we live in the real world. So, my take on all of that is whatever it takes for you to live a better life. Now, with that, thick skin. You have to have a certain amount of thick skin if you're going to be a tout to be religious, because you're going to have people like me who can be very sarcastic, who can be an asshole by choice, and who will poke fun at your religion from time to time, just as I expect people to poke fun at me. But you got to just have a thick skin about it, because, a lot of times it's constructive, whatever the criticism is, but sometimes, it's just going to happen. I'm going to, just like any movie I watch, and especially if it's a military movie, and I've had to tone it down a lot, like a lot of my other veteran brothers and sisters, in order to enjoy the movie, you don't nitpick every wrong thing that they did if it's like a military movie, because then it just ruins the movie, the experience. You just kind of have to let it go and just kind of believe. Just like, okay, this is just the mindset of the director. I'm just going to follow it. I'm going to do my best to just not be bugged by all those little nitpicky things. And I'm just going to focus on what is vital to the plot. And in religion and in your own self-salvation, is it really necessary if Adam had a belly, if he had a belly button or not? Does it really matter? It's a fair question. Did Adam have a belly button? Probably not, but did he? I don't know. But does that matter to my salvation? Does that really matter to my moral compass? It's more the message of everything versus the literal take on it all. I grew up LDS. I grew up Mormon. And I could go off all day long about how that blessed I have so many Mormon friends, and I grew up LDS. I served a 2-year mission. Here's my little gafette right here, right there. And I would never wish for that experience to be taken away. It was a great experience. I served in the Yucatan Peninsula, and it was great. But with life, we learn, we experience things, we mold our forma de ser, our being, who we are, our personality, and we gain more experience and knowledge, and we kind of come to our own conclusions with things. And in my opinion, it's kind of oxymoronish to say it's an ever-changing conclusion, but my conclusion on things is ever-changing. And so my belief system today of what I believe might be different in the future. That's just how it goes. You take what comes at you, and then you kind of, deductive reasoning, you kind of go from there, and you forge a new belief, if you will, or you see a new take on things, you see a different perspective. But I could go off all day long on that religion and certain things that, I don't agree with, and certain things that have made me come to where I am today, versus a lot of my good friends and family who are still holding to the rod, if you will, and going strong in the Mormon faith, and my hat's off to them, because, they're steadfast in what they believe, and they're using, every medium that they have within their religion as a great moral compass to keep them on the straight and narrow. And that's great. If their straight and narrow is that, then who am I to get in the way of that? That's not my realm. Just like I wouldn't expect anyone to get in the way of what I believe my straight and narrow is. And so, to each, truly, and it really is, fact, to each their own. As long as we are doing something that edifies not only yourself, your family, but your neighbor and society. As long as you are edifying everything, you're making everything better, then it shouldn't truly matter. And I know that a lot of friends, they like, nope, if you weren't baptized a certain way, or if you, believe in a certain book, or if you don't profess this, or if you don't believe in the rapture, or whatever it is, which, where does it say rapture in the Bible? But, then you're going to hell. No. Because you have to believe in hell first, right? My take on things, I think it's more probable that we live in a Matrix style world than we do in a spiritual style world. But I could be 100% wrong, and I'm open to being wrong with that. Who's to say? Who am I to say what kind of world we truly live in? The only thing that I have control over is myself, the way in which I conduct myself, comport myself, and the relationships I make and choose to have with people. And the way I choose to react to certain people. I am not perfect. I blow up from time to time. I get angry. I get sad. I get happy. I get, all sorts of stuff. Energetic. There's times where I just don't want to do a damn thing. There's times to where I can't focus on something for super long because it's just not striking me the way that I thought it would. And so I just want to do something different. We're all are unique in our own way. And so, in my opinion, you create stress for yourself when you think you're not who you were supposed to be. The problem is this: you aren't. Everyone, we've all failed at who we were supposed to be. 100% of all of us, every single human being, we have all failed at who we were supposed to be. What matters is succeeding at who you are right now. So, in my opinion, so many people focus and they're so scope locked on who they thought they were supposed to be that it creates a little bit of stress in their lives, a little bit of sadness, anger, all those bad feelings that if you know how to vector them the right way, you can use them as motivators. But it's very dangerous. It's a dangerous path because if you don't know how to vector them the right way, then it can lead you down a bad path. And I think what it is a lot of people, it's hard to vector it the right way and use it as motivation and to stick with it, because what happens is you're like, oh, I'm going to do something good, and you get a great idea and you're like, I'm going to do it. But then you realize how hard it is to achieve that next great idea, goal that you have. And now it just chalked up another failure in your mind instead of another experience, but another failure in your mind. So now you think that you're all of a sudden chalking up and putting in all these failures into your figurative rucksack that's weighing you down, when in reality, those are experiences that help propel you and make you stronger to get on to the next thing, whatever the next thing is going to be, and eventually you'll find your footing, you'll find your ground. That weight, what does weight do? It weighs you down, but you need weight in order to make yourself stronger, to break down those muscle fibers, and then it builds them back. They grow back stronger. So weight, if you look at it as something that's going to hold you down, then you got to change that outlook on it, that philosophy. You have to literally look at it as, man, this is going to make me stronger. That experience is going to make me better for the next time. I'm more prepared now. That's why folks in the military, when they get out, there's certain things in the civilian side where they look at where a civilian sees the way that a veteran reacts, and they're like, oh my God. And a veteran's like, this is cake. What do you mean? Because of certain things that they had to go through and that they experienced while in the military. And vice versa. There's a lot of things that on the civilian side that a lot of military members who, when they went straight from high school into the military, missed out of those just regular civilian life experiences, that when they get out, they're like, how the hell did you deal with this, to just their regular neighbor Joe over there? And, there they are owning their own construction company, going to the grind every single day, and just making it happen, where, it's like, wow, so life is, what it is. You can't look at it as you can't force it to try and become what, you thought it should be. You can't fix the past. You can only be successful at who you are right now. And you can control your actions on what the next thing is to come in your life. You can do your best right now, but don't be bogged down on who you think you were supposed to be, because For one, that's in the past, and two, that really wasn't who you were supposed to be. There is no who you're supposed to be. It's who you are right now in this moment. All right. I was a different person way back in the day. And I had a whole different outlook on my life on the way I thought it was going to go. And it 100%, it has changed 180. It has changed 070, 090, 045. It's changed so many different degree headings and azimuths, the way in which I'm supposed to, I thought I was going to go in life. That now I just kind of like, it's the whole, what is Carrie Underwood, Jesus take the wheel type thing. It literally is like wherever that wheel casters to, then, I'll grip it and then we'll go, whenever that vehicle straightens out, and okay, there we go. Oh, we're going this way now. Okay, cool. And that's the way, you're going. But if you want to make things work for yourself and whatnot, you get excited about something, what's next? Maintain that excitement, but caution yourself, realize that the more excited you get, that's great, but match that excitement with the amount of work and effort that you're going to put into it to achieve that. Because there's going to be those boring times that when you're trying to achieve that new goal that you're going to be like, man, this sucks. Why did I choose this? Well, you chose it for a reason. You got to kind of return back to that very moment you got excited about it and realize, that's why. That's why I was doing this. I remember now. Because so many of us will give up, and I do it all the time. Every single day I do it. And it's just, I think it's human nature how we give up. And I look at it this way, like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, it might take you 100 shots to make one, and so you just got to keep putting them up and putting them up and putting them up. And it's the same thing. Those failures, it's going to keep happening. Those goals, it's going to keep happening. You might lose motivation for X, Y, or Z reasons. You might not be able to achieve that goal, but keep coming up with goals, with something else that I'm going to do, you're going to do, because eventually you're going to get a hit. You're going to get a single, and you're going to get on base. You're like, oh shit. Okay. I'm on base now. Okay. Now we're set up. Now let's see if I can advance to second base, third base, and all the way back home. Let's see if I can make this now into something, don't just give up after the first failure. Because then, that's when you're panhandling, on the corner, and, like, I don't know. I just, when it comes to life, there is no great answer. There is no great, this is what you do. Here's your prescription. There is no great, this is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is not to be a shitbag, You see someone that legitimately needs help, not asking for a handout, but someone who legitimately needs help, then you help them out. You see, you see a little animal on the side of the road that needs a little bit of help or whatnot, help it out. Don't be a shitbag, because that shit follows you and that will follow you. And ultimately, I think, with my philosophy, I believe that you will be held accountable to a certain degree when it's all said and done. Maybe you'll come back as like a freaking, a freaking tadpole or something like that. I don't know. But that's just kind of two of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about today was, going over, there's nothing that's free. We got to change our mindset because it's not. And, when it comes to religion, there is no right or wrong in terms of which path, which religion you should follow and stuff like that. You don't have to follow any of them. Make up your own. Hell, it worked for Joseph Smith. But, just as long as your moral compass is aimed at not being a shitbag, then I think you're good. You're good to go. Excuse me. So just something I thought I'd throw up for my motorcycle riding friends. So we're doing Sturgis in 2022 at the Buffalo Chip. Good friends, that kind of help run the place up there. We're going to go hang out and have a good time. And if you want to go and you ride or anything like that, hit me up, direct message me or whatnot. But passes for the Chip went on sale on this last Monday. and so they're like renting RV lots and all that kind of stuff. So they go quick. So things like buffalochip.com. I'm not endorsing them by any means. I'm just throwing it out because that's where we're going to be hanging out. And it'd be cool to hang out. But if you're going to be up in that area, Sturgis, South Dakota, beginning of August next year, first couple weeks of August for the most part, that's where we'll be. So you should come hang out, have a good time with us. But between here and then, there'll be plenty of other times that there's still got a year essentially. There'll be plenty of times to hang out, all that kind of stuff. But I'm down here in the Panhandle of Florida, so I'm down here in between Pensacola and Destin. So if ever you find yourself down either in Pensacola or in Destin or in the in between or even Panama City Beach, hit me up and we'll come hang out. We'll go chill or whatnot. Go ride or get in the water or anything like that. But hey, this is the thing. All right. So hit me up. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Like I'd love to know anyone else's philosophy or take on religion. I'm not talking scripture. I'm not talking all that kind of stuff. I'm talking just take on things. And also on your take on my opinion of the whole free stuff. If you don't agree with that, I would like to know why. Why is it that you don't agree, with conservatives being upset that it's not really free. It's you're going to pay for it in taxes and other cost of living and things like that. If you still are for that, like handout and school being paid for and for free and universal health care, let me know why. And then I want to also know what do you think the yin and the yang is for that? If it's free, how is it going to get paid for? That's just what I want to know. And with your method of how it's going to get paid for, is it going to be able to generate enough revenue to pay for it? All of it. Just my thought. So anyway, this is Mike with one mic out, and I will talk to you on the next one. I hope I didn't anger the YouTube gods with this one, because this has to go up on YouTube because I'm at 37 minutes right now and I'm still jabbering. But, Instagram doesn't let me put anything over like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that. So YouTube, be sure to go ahead and like it. One mic out. It's a YouTube channel. You can look it up. The number one mic out on Instagram or one mic out on Facebook. Go ahead and give it a like. Share it to your friends and all that kind of stuff. And man, y'all have a great rest of your week. Bama plays Ole Miss this weekend, so roll Tide. I realize just now, I'm actually wearing some Ole Miss colors. Oh my God, it kind of looks that way, but whatever. Maybe it's just to, I like Lane Kiffin, so I'll give him that. But anyway, so we'll probably be heading up to T-Town this weekend to hang out. So if you're up in that neck of the woods, let me know. Anyway, y'all take care. I love you, and we'll talk to you on the next one. This is One Mic Out.